So I'm going to go over the products that I have. I have my chocolate melter and I have a bar in there melting away. The bar that I'm doing with this time is sugar, so it's a little soft pink, more like Easter kind of color. There's the little product again. I have these 4 little clips that I use to hold my mold together. I have the mold, I have the front side and the back side, and then I put it on this little protective thing so that it doesn't get all over my counter. So as soon as the wax is done melting, then we will get started. Thank you. Okay, I think we're getting ready to get started. The wax is all melted. So what I've done is I poured in part of it. I've just poured some of it in there just to cool because I know the bar is going to take the whole wax, or I'm sorry, the mold's going to take the whole bar of wax. So this way it just helps me distribute and not make a mess when I'm pinning it together and starts to twist it or whatever. So then I pull the rest of the bar over into this half of the mold. Then all the little pieces drip, all the little drops drip out. There we go. And then I just set that back and I turn my chocolate mold off. So then I take my other half. I make sure that all the wax that's in here is kind of solid so that it doesn't make a mess. And then I turn it over on top of my mold, and then you got to line it up. This is the tricky part. You got to line it up to make sure that everything is going to be matching up perfect. Then I take the little clippies and I clip it on there, and I continue to line up as I go, and then I take another clip and clip it on, and I take another one, clip it on. Make sure the bottom is lined up and clip the last one on there. And then I just kind of look real careful to make sure that on the side it shows that everything does look like it's lined up. Just around here. Otherwise you'll get this little lip on your lamb. And so you want to avoid that as much as possible, or your bunny, whatever your mold is. You'll get the little lip. So you want to make sure that's all hooked up as much as possible. And I kind of just let it sit for a second, because the wax that's in there is really warm, and if you move it too fast, then it'll find its way out. It'll make little shooting lines and just come out and make a mess. So I really kind of just do it real slow, and then I start to roll it around a little bit so that it starts to come up and starts, then I move it back so then it kind of moves, so that I make sure that it's not going to come spouting out anywhere and make a mess. So then I just start rotating it around, and you can see that it starts to harden as it cools. Depending on how warm your wax is, on how long it's going to take. So I just keep turning it and turning it. I try to make sure that it gets all the sides, the top, the bottom, all the way around. So I just keep rotating it, twisting it, doing whatever you can to get it going through. You can see right now that the wax is still pretty cool, or pretty warm, and so it's really liquefied. So you want to keep it moving. If you keep it moving, it'll cool off that much faster. Sorry, that's my kitty. She's not happy that I'm doing this. And you can see that with the warm wax, it's kind of squishing through a little bit. So you want to make, you can pick all that off afterwards when it's cool. You can just kind of, serrate the edge and it's fine. It works out. But you just want to kind of make sure your mold is pinching through, and you just keep it turning. And is this going to take quite some time? It takes me probably, I don't know, depending on how warm the wax is, it could be like 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. So I'm going to turn the recorder off while I'm finishing this, and I will bring you back for the next phase. You can tell as it starts cooling down, it starts to get the color through as the wax starts cooling. But there's still quite a bit of warm wax in there, so you got to keep it turning, and that's how you get it to be hollow inside, and you get the thickness pretty uniformed all the way around. So you want to keep just turning it, rotating it, getting that wax shuffling all the way around everywhere that you can go, and just keep on doing this until there's nothing inside moving. A lot of times you can hold it up to a light and you can see if there's anything. If it's not moving anymore, then you're probably good. Otherwise, you just keep it moving for a while. Okay, so it's pretty solid now. It doesn't show any more signs of moving or anything like that. So I keep it out in room temperature to let it cool because it's still warm to the touch. You can tell the wax is still warm. And so then I just keep it out at room temperature, and I still kind of move it once in a while. I don't know, that's just me being anal. I don't think it's necessary, but just so that it doesn't get a heavy spot in it, so I just kind of keep rotating it once in a while and let it sit. Now, it will sit out room temperature for probably about 20 to 30 minutes, so I give it quite some time before I pop it in the freezer to help me release the little forms. I have tried putting it in the freezer and trying to cool it down faster, and what happens, it gets like little holes, like the wax will just like suck into itself and it'll leave like holes or dents, and so it just doesn't work. So the wax really needs to be cool, or pretty much solid again, before I pop it into the freezer to help me get the molds off. So it'll sit here for about 20 or 30 minutes, and then I will show you after I get it out of the freezer. Thank you. Okay, so I took it out of the freezer, and I'm going to just take the little clips off. And then you just kind of peel it apart and just kind of work it until it kind of releases. Sometimes you gotta let the little air go, kind of go slow. And then you can take it off. And then you kind of do the same thing for the bottom until it releases. And then it comes out, and there's your little lamp. And you can say there's a little bit of a edge, like crisp around here. I just take a little knife, like a sharp knife, and I just kind of trim that around so that it's flush and looks pretty. So any questions, give me a call or post them below. Give me a call. No, post them below, and I'm happy to answer them for you. Hope that helps.